Hi, I'm Valerie Pugh. I teach first grade at Jackson Independent. Years past, I've done some AR grants on just how to make my classroom a cozier, more inviting place to be. And so this year, I've added some items to my classroom that I'm going to be using. And anytime I think as teachers, if we can engage our students through the senses, then and plus make our lives easier, then we need to by all means do that. So I've purchased these items, an Echo second generation smart speaker with Alexa, and then an audio enhancement wireless microphone system, and then the Epson colored printer, copier, scan, and fax machine. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about all three of these items and why I chose these items for my classroom. First, I'll start with the wireless microphone system. Studies show that students who sit in the back of a classroom miss 30% of what their teachers say because they can't properly hear the lesson. So not only are the students going to be using the wireless microphone system, like one of my little students here, she's practicing for the Thanksgiving play. I use one as well. And students that struggle to hear due to classroom noise, hearing loss, or other issues often suffered from delayed language skills, lower grades, poor self-esteem. And research shows that noise is more distracting to a child than a child's brain than it is an adult's. And also children under 15, language experiences to fill in, or they lack language experiences to fill in the gaps when they miss a word or two from their teacher's message. And then when teachers are talking, the words need to be about 15 decimals louder than background noise in order for the children to be able to learn. And classroom audio is now recognized as one of the most powerful and cost-effective tools for student improvement. Schools with audio enhancement show gains in student achievement and teacher effectiveness. So I've been using my wireless microphone on and off for like the last 2 weeks, I think. And I don't have a loud voice. So it's really helpful in keeping the kids engaged, and they really enjoy it. It's better for me because I don't have to strain my voice, and I'm less tired at the end of the day. And I don't have to get loud or to raise my voice to get a point across, or repeat yourself. You don't have to repeat yourself as often, and it's also health. It has health benefits for teachers. The medical and substitute teaching costs for voice problems among teachers cost the United States more than $2.5 billion per year. And my kids are going to be using them like during our holiday bazaar that's coming up. We're doing a play. We go out Christmas caroling and we do plays at Christmas time. We go to like all the local businesses, not all of them, but the banks. We have 4 banks that we go to. And whenever they do read-alouds in the classroom, they're going to be using those microphones. Whenever they do author's chair to share their writing during writing workshop, they use those. When they do projects in the classroom, they're going to be using those. When we do other plays throughout the year, like Dr. Seuss plays, and so they're going to get to use those too. And it just makes them feel important if they're talking and projecting their voice into a microphone. And then we also have the Alexa Echo second generation. I always wanted one for my classroom since they came out because I have one at home, and it's just amazing everything that they can do. And I use music a lot in my classroom for a variety of different reasons, for rewards, for while they're writing, quiet music. So there's just so much that you can do with Alexa. It can count by 5s and 10s. It can tell the students a story. They tell random stories, and they're all rated G so far that I've found. Students can draw illustrations while that tells the stories, or they can write a summary of the stories. You can play Simon Says and use vocabulary and spelling words. For example, it repeats. If you say Simon says, then it's going to repeat what you say. So like if you have spelling words, place and face, you can say, the students can read it and say, Simon says, walk in place with a happy face. So they're reading fluently, they're getting their vocabulary words, their spelling words, while they're having fun playing a game. So that's something else that it can do. You can also link it to Google Calendar. If you use Google Classroom, you can say, Alexa, what's on my calendar for today, or what's on my calendar for this week? So that comes in handy. You can use it for editing for Writer's Workshop and keep a notebook for spell checking. If students, I know my first grade, when they're doing journals, they'll say, how do you spell this? How do you spell that? And so instead of giving them their little dictionaries that they use or using the word wall, I can now tell them, well, go to our writing station to Alexa and ask Alexa how to spell. And then they can keep a notebook, and they can write down the words that they're having trouble spelling and keep a notebook, and then that helps them during writing workshop. I can have a weather reporter every day at calendar time. That can be their job every day, is to get the weather from Alexa, and then they have to report that back to me. And then the last thing that I ordered is a colored printer, copier, scan, and fax machine. And I just found some statistics here. Tests indicate that a black and white image may sustain interest for less than 2/3 a second, whereas a colored image may hold the attention for 2 seconds or more. 54% of students are more likely to read a handout that's printed in color. Nearly 7 in 10 students can better comprehend new information when delivered through a colored format, and more than 3/4 of students report having better information recall when they read it on a colored page. So I'm also going to be using this for like every Monday when I send home newsletters and homework schedules. I want to make sure those are done in color. I can fax things now when we go on field trips. I can do that myself now instead of going to the office. So that's going to come in handy. Sometimes if I'm lacking 1 or 2 copies or something, I can do it right there in the classroom. And I don't know if I said this or not, but my assessments on Friday, I want to make sure that I do those in color. And I think that's about it. So these are just some of the ways that I've thought of helping enhance my classroom and using those senses to get kids more engaged. Does anybody have any questions?